Hey, it's Adam Calzetti here, and we have a super exciting episode of ENTA Asks. I have here with me Kevin McEachern, who's filling in with Caitlin Boy.
We have Mexsig on set with us today. They're going to take us through all the ins and outs of project construction. Get ready, they have a lot of stories to tell us that are fantastic. So here we go.
Okay, here we go. We've got a super exciting episode for you today. We're going to talk about construction and building cool stuff, and who doesn't want to talk about that? So with us today, we have Sigfrido Pacheco-Vega, who is the president of Mexsig Construction. And we have Brenda Pacheco-Vega, who is the general manager. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And in previous episodes, we talked about all the crazy jobs that these two have executed, and it's everything from municipal to industrial. It's a year of planning to do a job in a day, which is a cool story. So check those out. But now today we want to talk about the future. What's coming up? What's new and exciting?
Well, we're very excited because we've recently expanded into BC. We have opened a new Westminster office, and we have hired a person there fulfilling two objectives at the same time. On the one hand, we wanted to expand into a province where our roots are actually, right? Mm-hmm. Coming from Vancouver, both of us. But we also felt that it was important for us to have some social responsibility. And so the person that we've hired, she has some disabilities. And so we wanted to give an opportunity to this person to, have a gainful employment and have an opportunity for self-development and have an opportunity to, have a decent living and have a living wage. And so those two objectives were put together when we had an opportunity to hire this individual. And so we're very excited now that we have somebody in BC and looking forward to visiting there when it comes to doing projects. We have recently been pre-qualified for a roster in one of the major universities in BC that has 4 campuses in Hope, Chilliwack, New Westminster, and Abbotsford. And we're pursuing some work in the interior.
It sounds like it's not an easy thing getting pre-qualified onto those lists.
No, it isn't. It's hard because you need a lot of previous experience, and without experience, you can't get anywhere.
Right.
But previous experience specifically in institutions, because the work in institutions can be very disruptive, especially to students and faculty. And what you don't want to do is create disruption. So you need to accumulate a pretty good portfolio of projects in that sector before other universities will consider you. And so we've recently expanded with another project also in a university here in Calgary, as well as with a major oil and gas operator. So we're very excited about all that is coming our way. But certainly, we're always looking for additional challenges. One thing that I think Brenda and I have always really enjoyed is getting into new projects, like the one where there was this project that we spoke about in the last episode about the transit between 2 cities. That was completely off the regular path of just building something, but it was an interesting project. And I've done some really interesting projects as well in training on project management, developing procedures, building buildings for developers as well. And so very excited to find just any new project that is different would be of interest to us for sure.
Amazing. And what about you, Brenda? What are your favorite types of projects?
Oh, my favorite types of projects. That's a tricky one. I don't know. There's lots of projects that have really interesting specialists. And I think I enjoy those projects just because I get an opportunity to learn as well from working in unique areas and unique projects. So favorites, I don't know, the big ones are usually my favorite because there's a lot for me to do because SIG is really the ringleader of a lot of the groundwork on site and in the office. And I'm support to that. So when they're big and complicated, there's more involvement. for me in a more interesting level, I would say, deeper level.
Okay.
All right, so the bigger the challenge, the more excited you get.
That's right.
That's great.
I'd say so.
Well, we've been involved with some really interesting projects. I think the biggest project that I've been involved with was 1.5 billion, and it was a mine in the oil sands. That was super interesting, and I was very fortunate to work with really competent people, both from the engineering contractor as well as from the client side. The advantage that major projects have is that you just have one project to deal with, right? It's one. There's lots of issues around it and lots of moving parts, but it's just one.
Yeah.
In the case of smaller projects, and Brenda has seen these, I mean, we've had sometimes as many as 20 going at the same time, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of all of them because you still need to keep track of all of the stuff that you would in a large project. You still need to do some of that in the small project, like developing your project structure, who you report to, how often do you report, cost control, schedule. Like there's so many things that you still need to do in small projects that actually managing a portfolio is very different. Ideally, a development like a building project, say by a developer or a new development, would be really interesting for us, and it's certainly something that would be looking forward to working on, getting back to those roots on working in buildings. But certainly we're also open to other kinds of projects like developing project procedures and developing project frameworks. We have helped set up project management offices, and we've done a number of other, I would say, more exotic type of assignments as well.
Okay.
I feel like that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. There's always, you just have like stories within stories within stories.
I feel like you might have built an island somewhere. That's just sort of when you said it. I'm like, there's a vacation island somewhere that we haven't
right?
met yet,
Like from the James Bond movies.
Something from the James
Someone
Bond
has to
movie,
build those.
Dr. No
right?
Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. No's Island.
It's interesting because I think we both really enjoy change and novelty. And so when you can get involved with things that are very, very different, it not only expands your knowledge, but it also, I think, makes you a better person as well.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it engages you in the work that you're doing, right? Because I think my biggest fear would be something getting really stale, right? And so if you're continuing to branch out and take on new challenges, and it's that whole learning curve, to your point, I think that's brilliantly said. Like it's about doing something you've never done before, and then you get really excited about it, and then you're re-energized, you're re-engaged in the work that you're doing. But if you only did work for one particular type of industry, I can see that probably getting a little bit monotonous after a while. Whereas in right now, you guys are like, just bring it on. Like we can do whatever, right? I think that's really exciting.
In multiple languages too.
Yes.
Yes, we recently completed an assignment for a shipping company where they were looking to do an entire reorganization of their corporate structure. And so that was more of a change management project for this shipping company that is based out of Mexico, but expanding all the way into South America. So really interesting because they have now branched out from just having, I think when I started working with them, they were about 5 people and they had true trailer trucks. Right now, they are 80 people and they have in excess of 200 trucks.
Wow.
Yeah. And you do all your work for them in Spanish?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Very exciting, for
Okay.
sure.
That's great.
Yeah, and they're opening new offices also. They've just recently opened one in Guatemala, and I think they're in the process of opening some offices also further down. So also very exciting on that front, helping them grow and adapt as they grow bigger.
Yeah.
Because when you're a 5-person firm, it's more of a mom and pop type of operation. Whereas when you're 80, now you have to have some serious corporate structures to be able to manage the firm in an efficient way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, really fun.
I love that.
great.
You're speaking my language, right? That's what we do. We build processes. So
Oh, right on.
stuff.
Exciting.
He's like a kid on Christmas right now.
Yeah, it's like, that's amazing. Okay, amazing. Well, I really appreciate you spending the time here and telling us all these amazing stories about all these successes you guys have had. And if somebody does want to get a hold of you, if they want to work with the best of the best, if they've got Mission Impossible, right? How do they get a hold of you?
For sure.
Well, you can go to our website. It's www.mexsig.ca. That's MEXSIG. Or you can call SIG at the office, 587-830-1371, or myself, 587-437-1371.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
great.